You really know yourself? Well, guess what? This day is going to put that to the test. Welcome in, my beautiful souls, to your daily read for Friday. I hope all is well. We're going to stick to, I think, just the Light Seers Tarot by beginning from the middle for an overall energy. The Page of Pentacles. I feel like this has been coming out in readings recently for me a lot. I do sense that there's new money on the mind, new progression, new success. Spirit might push a select few drawn to the reading to take a beginner's approach, maybe get back to the basics or rediscover certain basics that you may have forgotten about. But I feel like there's knowledge, wisdom, experience within that will definitely be put to use to, I heard the word perfect for some, but you might want to tweak that towards more improvement, right? Adjusting in your favor in potentially more than one way. But I do feel like it's a day where you're needing to maybe to the slightest extent re-examine or examine in general your external reality, the state of things at this point along your path, to figure out how to most productively move forward. Not to say everything up until this point hasn't been productive or accurate for you, for your path, but it does, the time calls for some sort of reevaluation or re-examination once again, so you can shift on forward very productively once again and efficiently all the meanwhile, and gain what you're meant to, plus some. But as I struggle a bit, I do feel like there is something you're ignoring or not looking at fully, whether it's an issue with a relationship, a habit of yours, something you keep revisiting or going back to habit-wise or toxicity-wise. It could be a numerous amount of things. It doesn't have to be just one thing, but I feel like at the very least there's one thing you're not looking at fully, ignoring in some way, shape, or form. But let's pull a couple more cards. I'm hearing get ready to turn the page, or it's time for you individually, less likely to turn the page towards the new set of experiences, that new page within your chapter, within your individual book representing your path. There's a feeling of the color orange as well coming into play, so look up the spiritual meaning of that. The color orange. There's going to be a couple moments throughout the day, maybe just one for a select few, where you have a random moment of smiling. It just kind of comes to be. You feel really good as I struggle. There's pushing you to recognize wholeheartedly even the small things, or remember maybe what actually makes you happy and comforted like that. There's a sense of you, again, being pushed to know yourself best moving forward, because that's going to help you in so many different ways. And so I feel like this day once again tests how well you've grown to know yourself over time up until this point. And Spirit's saying we're not expecting you to have all the answers or know yourself 1010% at this point, because I guarantee you're at least somewhat changing now and moving forward. But it's about, again, putting that to the test and pushing you to know yourself more so moving forward, and maybe recognize how you're changing all the meanwhile, so that you can conquer your path moving forward. Okay, to continue for Friday. The Lover's card, the Tower card. Okay, what changes, what decisions have made you a stronger, bolder, more confident version of yourself? But what has also left you choice and decision wise with certain created tower moments, or one in particular, right? If you have made certain decisions time and time again, or in general in the past when it comes to a bad habit, it's now time for you to decide once and for all. Let's put it to rest, if I could even speak. But I do feel as if there's something that you once upon a time loved or cared for in one way, shape, or form. That could be a person, a situation, an opportunity, and that came to an end or winding back. But it reminds you that you can, that even what's meant to end after a certain point, or maybe a couple different points, is still meant to be love-filled up until a different point or different points. Anyways, I'm not sure why that came out, but I do feel as if there's one, if not multiple tower moments, endings, if you will, for the future that you're truly expecting. If you look at that squirrel there looking up at the lightning, I do feel as if this knowing, this awareness of that one, if not multiple tower moments in the future isn't a bad thing, but it's going to highlight the choices now to support that, to benefit that moving forward, or maybe to make that more successful, right? But I do feel as if this feels to an extent inevitable, and that's not a bad thing. Not every tower moment has to be negative. But I do feel a sense of lack and maybe a little bit of disappointment, maybe within yourself, if not somebody else or a situation, certain circumstances, or one in particular. But there is a key to a new opportunity, whether it's figurative or literal. And this is going to be presented to you within the next couple of days for some. If not, it's right around the corner. That corner is just a little bit further down the block. But the King of Swords, the Strength card, Queen of Cups, and the Five of Cups. There's a reminder to put your hands up and flow with your expectations, but to conquer them all the meanwhile. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of contradicting. To take what you're expecting the worst with and say, what's within my control, I will control. But otherwise, for the most part, I will put my hands up and flow with and ride the waves towards better expectations and more success, more positivity, all the meanwhile. I don't know if that made sense, but there's also a reminder to either keep your individual crown on, to know your worth, your value in every situation, or to put it back on. Very interesting. Yeah, to keep your crown on or put it back on. I'm hearing your royalty, your royalty. There's something about the Five of Cups energy where you're expecting the worst, to maybe at least to an extent, if not fully valid and accurate, but that's not the point. It's all about you expecting the worst moving forward so we can wipe away limitation, wipe away any lack, bear with me, and to feel more aligned with every experience, person, place, and situation. Even if that means beginning again one, if not multiple times. That's part of life. Initiating or flowing with certain tower moments that are meant to be, leaving you with more love-filled, again, experiences and a love-filled path in general. Life, if you will. But the Strength card and the King of Swords speaks upon you being very much, in the spotlight, feeling quite strong, maybe more physically strong for some due to past efforts or current day efforts. There is a vibe of you needing to utilize what you've gained, again, up until this point in several different ways to, in a very strong way, move forward and decide productively, decide in a very smart manner, not to dip back into some negative choices from the past that once again have left you with maybe this Five of Pentacles and or this Five of Cups energy. All right, but this day highlights the fact that, again, you're changing, but your reality is changing and has changed up until this point because it wasn't meant to stay the same. Imagine if you were to reflect back simplistically and even though at the time you wanted to stay with that person, it wasn't meant to. Imagine if you did stay with the person, right? That person, bear with me, that soul. Things would not have proceeded in a positive sense, in a constructive sense, in the way that they were meant to. And so that's just an example. You can apply it to your career, work, right? An investment of some sort otherwise. But everything is coming to an end, beginning, and proceeding exactly how it's meant to. And you need to remember this or realize it for the first time for some. But again, spotlight attention may be a part of this day, but I wouldn't be surprised if you feel very much, watched over, looked at, eyes peeled upon you. You may find that there's a continuation of a growing glow about you, and that's partly why your talent, if not multiple, might be playing into that. They're saying your knowledge definitely plays into it all the meanwhile. But I do feel as if you need to be remembering that your intuition has a lot to do with what you know, what you've gained, what you're going to more so gain moving forward. But let's give Spirit a little bit of credit because I feel being drawn to this reading. You're pretty damn connected to the spiritual realm. But there is certain mystery wrapped up into a wish fulfillment that is, again, either around the corner or right ahead for you, depending on, regardless of the time period for you or how long you have to wait moving forward. They're saying that this mystery is not a bad thing. If you had all the answers, all the blanks filled in, puzzle pieces, you may not go after it, and we need you to, okay? There's something There's something to learn in the midst of trusting and embracing that mystery. And I feel like that also may come into play with other people viewing and perceiving you and potentially your work in one way, shape, or form. They have to trust and embrace the mystery because it's part of what you bring to the table. And so there is something as well about you maybe keeping things on the down low, maybe not being as open with a loved one. That could be family, friends, you name it. And I sense that this isn't a bad thing, but you may start to open up a bit more in the upcoming days or upcoming weeks. And I really feel like this is a time where you're being pushed to once again look at your reality, within, outside of you, more importantly, and how are things feeling? How are things appealing to you or not so much? Looking at that Ten of Wands, where are things feeling heavy and how do we lighten things up more so moving forward to guarantee more success, more happiness, fulfillment, comfort, you name it, all those positive things. But in the midst of looking at your current day reality, and how things are or should proceed moving forward, with a Six of Cups pairing with the Ten of Wands, let's reflect, look back at a heavier, maybe more toxic chapter or two from your past, and recognize how good you have it in comparison, okay? But I do feel like all the meanwhile, there's a push to, or a natural guidance coming to be for you to sit back on your throne. Again, know your worth, your value, have that confidence grow as the minutes trickle on, because it's a daily read, but I was going to say as the days trickle on and proceed. But to wrap up this daily read, I do feel as if with the Page of Swords, it's a time period for you to better understand yourself, how you're changing, and to take a very hard, honest look at your external reality in the midst of doing a little bit of reflecting here and there. And I really feel like this is going to prepare you and push you forward towards a better future, a better path for you. Beautiful. So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.